TikTok. We are going live. Welcome back. It's the Atheist Underground Psychological Emancipation Railway going live. Dueling it tonight with our buddy producer Jay, streaming across the interwebs and doing YouTube and TikTok. YouTube, TikTok, TikTok. Try to pay attention to both if I can. YouTube doesn't get a lot of play. My friends on TikTok, thank you all so much for your support. We're really stunned by the success of the channel, and I am accept. We should have both of us on there. Yeah, nice. Now I got a feedback. What do we got to do about that?
I'll fix it. Give me a second.
Okay, you fix that, man, because it's in my headphones only. Got the headphones on tonight, and really to me, because we're just reading. Hey guys, peculiar Sibyl. Oh, peculiar Sybil. Thanks for joining us. Atheist Hub is right there for us, and our God sanctified. Yay!
Mama Bear's on YouTube.
Yeah, and non crazy cat lady. It's 3 a.m. in Denmark. My apple cheeked Danish pastry. You go to bed, man. What are you doing? But thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody for being here, and hit us up on YouTube if you can. If you haven't yet, go to YouTube and subscribe and like. Even if you never go there and use it, we're just trying to push up those subscribers to get to 1,000. So help us out there. AA looks like Jesus. What's that mean, man?
That's me. I look
Oh, your avatar looks like white Jesus, the cartoon white Jesus. The faithless healer, Ginger, the faithless healer's in the studio. If you hear her yapping, that's my little dog. Maybe we'll get her face in front of the camera at some point. Got a video taken down. I guess that's a milestone, right? We got a video taken down. One of our more popular ones too. It had, I think, 30,000 views at least when it got nailed finally, and it was the one on No God, No Rules, right? Another one. Somebody asked about morality. If there is no God, where does your morality come from? That bullshit. And I think it was because I called somebody a piece of shit. At the end of it, I said piece of shit, and I think that finally the questioner, who is Grocery Store 96. I remember, my memory is so good. I remember, I think maybe because they didn't comment for a long time, and then all of a sudden, after like 3 weeks, the video got taken down. So I think maybe they finally saw it and took it like I was telling them they were a piece of shit, and maybe they are. I don't really know, but I felt bad thinking about it because they might have been someone on our side of things who was just asking a real question, someone on the fence or coming out of religiosity and wanting to know what our thoughts were on where morality comes from. And if that's the case, I really do apologize. I'm not just trying to offend people. I'm only partially trying to who thinks that morality needs to come from a God. Then and you'd think that you can't be moral without a God. You can't be good without a God. Then you are a piece of shit, and I don't apologize for that. But it's too bad. But there you go. We got a video taken down, and I guess we're arriving when that happens. So there you go. One for us for that. I see we're back up. We were going in and out on YouTube again. Jay, are you there? I don't know if that's me this time because my camera went away, but I couldn't be. Jesus hates most people. Yeah, it's probably true, man. If the Bible is to be believed, then Jesus probably does hate most people. But I think that's what goes on now. The believers think that the world is more amoral than ever, and most people are wicked, and that's a sign of end times coming, man. Because most people are wicked. When I really think that for most people alive, life has never been better. It's the people who want to go back to the 50s are generally like white people. It wasn't so good. It's simpler times, and everybody was decent and Christian and moral. It was only good for you in the 50s if you were a white man in America. I know that. So I don't really get that whole bit about how society's falling apart. Because let me tell you, people have been talking that shit, since Christ was taken down off the cross, all those years ago, and ever since. And he's coming back. I know he's coming back in my lifetime. Yeah, you keep believing that. He ain't coming back, and he wouldn't. But anyway, I wanted to thank everybody and thank the trolls too for watching out. Apparently, you can mute the trolls, Jay, and you should do that. Our girl told us that we should really do that if they're being obnoxious because they use it as a ploy. Do you know about that?
Are you talking about in the comments?
In the comments, yeah. If they're trying to like elicit a reaction from me, and then like take a screenshot and use it against us and try to get us plugged that way. Um, so maybe you can figure out, or I guess you got to hit their name while they're scrolling by. I don't really understand it. I'm old. Yes, I'm not really good at this fancy social media stuff.
Oh, you mean during the live stream?
Yeah, during the live stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, what we should do is we should make there's a way to make other people admins because usually I don't.
Yeah, and that's what she was talking about. Non-crazy crazy cat lady offered to do that, and I'm happy to let her do that when you're not around. She can do that, or even when you are, if it's easier for you.
Yeah, no, it's way easier for me.
There you go.
I can show you that. We could do that next time when we meet on Sunday for Sunday.
Oh, okay. It looks like she joined us. No, it's like I said, it's 3 a.m. They're unbelievable. Insomnia kills, though, man. I'm telling you, little of the old, and you won't have any trouble with insomnia anymore. Yeah, we don't. Tech Milo doesn't believe in a ferryman living in the sky. Somebody asked why do Trump appeal to evangelicals so much, and he appeals to them because he promotes their agenda. He supports the policies that they want to see in effect, namely, rolling back Roe versus Wade and restricting women's health rights and all that kind of bullshit. So they're never going to really go for the Democrats, even though the Democrats pander to the Christians too. And Trump, I think, is an outsider too. I think that swamp, as he liked to say. But he made a there he is. It's Mike 288. Do I understand the appeal of Trump? I don't understand the appeal of Trump to anybody. Honestly, the guy's just a human piece of garbage and a narcissist. And again, not really about his conservative policies. I don't want people thinking I'm just a liberal, knee jerking against a Republican or a conservative, because that's not what it is. The guy was just unfit for office. He thinking person can see that he has serious mental issues with narcissism. And who wants a representative? You want our country represented by a turd like that who lies nonstop and embarrasses us in front of the entire world? And I think that's part of it. People from the country in America don't care what the rest of the world thinks. They do not care, and they're proud to come out and say it. I've always been, a guy who sees the global economy and the one world, one people thing kind of coming. It's just the internet has made the world so much smaller to begin with. I remember when we used to have pen pals. If you wanted to have a friend in Denmark, my friend, you had to write to him and wait for your letter to come back in 2.5 weeks or wherever it took it. Now it's just boom, we're all connected, and this protectionism and isolationism I don't get. But the country fucking hicks here, they do not care what anybody in any other country thinks about their stupidity, and that's an issue to me. But that's why if I don't mean to get political, but if I get down on Trump, that's why, because of him and his personality and his unfitness for office, not because he was a Republican. I was raised a Republican, and I still have some kind of middle of the road ideas when it comes to that, and I'd be willing to vote for a decent Republican who wasn't tied to the evangelical right and wasn't tied to being pro-life and all this identity politics shit kills me. That's enough about that turd. Breaking their cult mentality. I don't know. Education is the key to everything. That's all I can think of to say to that is we need to educate kids better in schools. We need to teach people the right thing. And the evangelicals are actively working against that. Texas is changing textbooks to stick Moses in it, like a real person from the past, and to try to stick Christianity into the Constitution, try to pretend that the Constitution was in any way based on Christian values or the Judeo-Christian myth arc. It wasn't, and the founders said it out loud. So to miseducate people like that, it makes it all worse. And people who are really into the cult, they have to come out on their own. Unfortunately, if you're already stuck in there and you've been drinking the Kool-Aid, then you have to have your own catharsis, I'm afraid, to get out of that. I read the Bible. Jack Nabbit. Yeah, I read the Bible. I was raised in a church, and it was a decent church, a good church. I read the Bible. I read it more than once, most of it. And in the end, that just makes you an atheist if you actually read the goddamn thing. Might not be able to do. Oh, what's up? Oh, because you're gone, Jason. Or Jay, I didn't see that.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you in my headphones anymore.
Oh, hold on.
I heard that. I don't know where you are though. There you are.
There. Okay.
There you are. Now you're back. All right. Wait. Is Bob responding to someone or just a personal rant?
Somebody asked,
Uh,
why don't you believe in God?
why don't I believe in God?
Yes.
Because there's no evidence that God exists. I mean, I spent a lot of years studying God and believing in God and doing what I was told to do in my church. And he clearly doesn't interact with humankind. He doesn't answer prayers. All that, justification for why bad people and how God answers prayers with yes, no, or maybe. What a bunch of bullshit, man! It's all just reasoning. It's all just justifications for the fact that you can't see him, you can't hear him. He doesn't interact with us, but he did back in the day. Everybody's got a reason for all that shit, and all it is that they're indoctrinated and they want to believe. They need the comfort myth and they want to believe it's true, so they make up what they need to answer that is unanswerable about God. Mostly the fact that he's just fucking not around. And if your belief in him makes you comfortable and it makes you think he's around, that, like I say, that's your right as an adult. But abdication of my mental ability. So to believe in God is I got better time than try to justify a belief in that for which I'm doing pretty good. Crispy Lispy. Is she Lispy or is he crispy? Can't really tell the gender there. Not that it matters. Same reason I don't believe in Thor or the Tooth Fairy. That's exactly right, Jack Nabbit. Kansas Cat joined. Toot out the Kansas Jack. Kansas Scat. Cat, not scat. Kansas Cat. You know what I love? I love the clever nicknames and the usernames on TikTok. Some people have some really, really funny shit. And I love that almost as much as I hate the trolls who can't even bother to put up a pic of an icon or a cartoon or something, or have a username and they don't have any followers and they don't have any videos posted and they follow like 137 people and all they talk is stupid shit and they can't even like do that for us. I don't work for the railroad. I have a little toy railroad back there that we're going to try to work into the show, but no, it's just a bit. I've always loved railroads. My great grandfather worked for the railroad and took me over the railroad trestle when I was just a wee lad and let me look down over the huge Pennsylvania Railroad switching yards in Altoona, Pennsylvania back in the day. It's probably not what it was, but at one point that was the hub of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it's been in my blood ever since. I love trains. I live by a train. I'll reach out and touch a train if I can anytime they come around. So no, don't actually work for them. The worst excuse I've heard about the existence of God, um, the worst excuse. I'm not sure quite what that means from the hub. Um,
He also had a question: will there be a new major religion anytime in the next 100 to 300 years?
no hair, mama bear. I like a rhyme too. A rhyme and Rob, and alliteration. I'm a big fan. What'd you say, Jay?
Atheist Sub also asked, will there be a new major religion anytime in the next 100 to 300 years?
Yes, and it'll be Batman. It'll be revolved around Batman because if you look, Batman is the most written about superhero of the 20th century, and that's the excuse they use for Jesus's existence. Bart Ehrman, who doesn't believe Jesus was divine, but believes he existed in some form, likes to say that he's the most well documented Palestinian of the first century. I just don't buy that. Maybe he is, but that doesn't mean by that reasoning, I like to say Moby Dick is the most well written about whale of the 18th century, so Moby Dick must be real. But yeah, no, I doubt it. I don't think in the future religion will be anything more than cults. Just a few cults here and there of people who can't live without that comfort myth. Batman. uh, yeah, because of intelligent life, God must exist. That's we basically know that that's not true. It's not up for debate anymore. We know how intelligent life evolved on the planet. Scientists are moved on. They moved on to other things because those questions are basically answered. And the people who think that are the people who are indoctrinated into thinking that this is a special place created for special us, and they can't understand how this could all be by accident. And I hear that a lot. You think this is all just an accident? Yes, yes, it's a fucking accident. Look at the amount of planets and the amount of galaxies, the amount of solar systems, the amount of galaxies in the universe is unfathomable. The number is so high that one of them, at a bare minimum, was going to have an accident like this. And we got lucky to be one of them, but there's probably countless worlds like this that have evolved or in the universe. It's just that the closest one is 4 light years away, and I don't know, have they discovered an M-class planet, as Star Trek like to say, around in a star in Andromeda? I don't know, but it's unlikely that anyone's ever going to travel far enough and break the laws of the physical universe to travel fast enough to get to one of the other civilizations before it dies out or burns itself to death like we are, melts all the ice caps until we all drown and float away. Yeah, religion has always existed at the edge of understanding, and that makes sense. It existed in the beginning, especially to explain. Well, I see you're posting questions on your side to explain the unknowable. So yeah, I mean, there'll always be the God of the gaps for people who are unwilling to take "I don't know" for an answer and wait for us to answer those questions. Do I think the American government will become absolutely secular? If the American government survives, if we last, if we're not taken over by China because of the idiocy that goes on here, then yeah, probably at some point. It's on a slow curve, but we see the numbers. Religion is dying. Evangelicals are down, and all of the other religions in America are down as well. So sooner or later, politicians will stop pandering to them because they won't need them to get elected. Be comfortable coming out as secular on their own, and it will change slowly sooner or later.
Yeah, I got another one for you about voting in
You keep popping
2024.
in YouTube. My picture keeps popping in and out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop the YouTube feed and see if we can
Okay,
just and I'm gonna switch to
I will be
the
able to
one with the
vote in before any tips. Yeah, just make sure you do it, man. And being an independent's fine. It's hard to vote for an independent candidate because you generally take votes away from the person who's going to run against the really evil person who's running on the other side. But I was an independent for a long time on the issues that matter to you. That's my advice as an American. That's what we're supposed to do, and that's the only way to get what you want, passed and elected, is to vote on the issues that are important to you. That's why the evangelicals have such an easy time getting their policies passed, is because they all vote. And if we all voted, the same way that they do, we would outnumber them easily, and they would have a harder time doing that. But yeah, when you vote, and my advice is to vote for the candidate that uses religion less as a cudgel against you, and start there if you're a person who cares about secular America.
we got one from Mama Bear.
There are more stars in the universe than sands on all the beaches. Poetry from our new friend Tech Malo. Who is that guy? I'm not sure I've seen him before. Love you, buddy. Thanks for joining. Where's your burden of proof, Jack? Jack? I don't know what that means. Yeah, we don't have any burden of proof. We don't believe that the God that you purport is out there, or that someone purports is out there. It's Russell's teapot, right? God might be just lurking on the dark side of the moon, and every time we go to the moon, he runs around to the other side. We don't know that. The duet lives are a little laggy, but it's still working. Thanks, Hub. Um, I think Jason quit the YouTube anyway,
Yeah,
but
I closed the YouTube out.
I can't hear you in my headphones, dude.
Oh, actually, you should take your headphones off now.
Now,
Ooh, here.
where are you?
Yeah,
On my phone?
yeah, I'm on your phone now.
You're hearing me on my phone. Okay, I got you. Let me just turn the volume up a little.
Yeah.
Atheist Mama Bear says, "Does every world like ours have a Batman?" Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I hope so. Batman's awesome. Yeah, check out Batman and Jesus, the movie that explains how a myth could evolve to become mistaken for reality over 2,000 years. Find all the writings on Batman explains how a myth could evolve to become mistaken for reality over 2,000 years. Find all the writings on Batman Go Live Together has ended. I don't know. Maybe that'll help. People hear me. No sound. I don't know what that's about. Sorry, folks. That's very strange. Now I can see, but I can hear. I can hear you. Okay, thanks, Snorlax. Now there is sound. All right, maybe it was he needed to get off of that the duet, and we're back. So I guess I'm solo for now. And there it goes. Here it comes again. See if are you there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I hear you now. See, people people couldn't hear anything for a while, but I guess it's back.
Huh.
All right. Thanks, Cat Layer. Alpha Cat.
Ooh, it's freezing.
A lot of cats tonight. Cool. Thanks. Glad the sound's back. Let us know if anything's going on. We're trying to work out this duel, going live duel so that Jay doesn't have to join me in the studio because we're separated in real life by a good 12 miles or something, and he's got a family to take care of too, and it's in the evening here, so we're trying to work it out so that he can help with these and not actually be in the studio with me. Because we like doing that. It's a lot easier to keep it rolling and keep me talking if I don't have to, just lean down and look at questions and wait till a question comes in. And I love watching some of the other live streams I've seen, but I do think that's an issue sometimes where there's just a lot of dead airspace while somebody's trying to read the questions. And I noticed that our friend I Blame Bill is having trouble getting her videos posted, and she's got like nothing that's really offensive. I feel like our time, I feel like the clock's ticking until they come for us, because I really do think social media has it out for atheists too, and tends to side with the Christian masses when it comes to silencing atheists. If there is no God, then who created chocolate? It says Ginger Snorlax. A smart ass Swiss person probably, but yeah, chocolate's awesome. And somebody else asked if pigs were evidence of a benevolent God because you can eat every delicious part. I think we'll probably answer that in the comments. He's still there, Jay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's not very loud.
Okay.
My sound's all the way up, but I can hear you. So feel free to break in.
Well, let me try a couple things. I think. Can you hear me better now or no?
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah.
Okay, let me turn it.
Yeah, controversial TikTok goes up easier than my others. Yeah, I think it does. Like, as far as like getting views, yeah, no, I think that's right. We're trying to figure out. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Some of the things that I think are going to get a lot of hits just don't, and some of them get like wacky hits, like Noah's Ark. Man, people got really upset. They challenged Noah's Ark, the credibility of the Noah's Ark story as fact. Come on, man. I mean, there's other things in the Bible that you can argue that are fact a lot easier than that fucking goofy story. But people are really, man, they really want that to be true. I think they lied to their kids and they don't want their kids hearing that it's not true. I mean, I don't know. I think Noah's Ark's like so easy to debunk. It's silly. It's not even fun. It's so much more fun to take it as metaphor, And I think to me it's like Santa Claus, the Noah's Ark story. You know what I mean? It got told school in Sunday school. And my church was not a literalist church at all. It was a liberal Protestant congregationalist denomination. And I feel like you get to a certain age and the pastor's like, yeah, it's metaphor, it's meant to be an to both describe God's, seriousness about being good people and his power and his ability to wipe out everybody if he wants to, and his ability to, to promise that he'll always keep it going and give people another chance and reward the crazy drunken Noah. Noah gets drunk and beats his family, doesn't he, later in the story? It's been a while. Is Rob's talk?
There was.
Is it? Wow,
I don't know.
Sound like a Japanese film that's been translated, overdubbed poorly.
Yeah, I think you're lagging a little bit here too, but I thought it was on my end. So
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the.
Don't if you want to try,
call me laggy, man.
You could try. You could try switching to if you have the ability to switch to your cell instead of off the Wi-Fi.
Say that again.
You could switch to off your Wi-Fi and onto your cell if you have enough.
And just
I don't know what would work.
I don't really think before I did that I couldn't even look at my comments on TikTok because it wasn't loading. Do you want to jail someone for spreading their belief? I mean, it's the same like spreading hoaxes. Yeah, I don't know. Putting people in jail. I'd rather put pedophile priests in jail. That's a better use of the jails, I think, than people who want to spread their belief just need to have a more educated public as the audience to whom they're trying to spread their belief, and then they'll quickly stop when people stop listening. But right now, it's still in the Bible. Acts. What is it? Acts. The mission statement in Acts of the Apostles that tells evangelicals to go spread the word. As long as that's in there, and as long as people believe it, they're going to try to spread the fucking word. We just need to, stop indoctrinating kids to believe it instantly from their parents, and stop people from being so gullible as in general as a society. And again, it comes down to education. Some people ask me why Europe, gave up religion so much easier. It's because they give a shit about educating their people. They don't put any value on myth and superstition in comparison to Puritan America that was founded by largely separatists who wanted to come here to start religious sects. So in a lot of ways, this country was always more religious from its inception than European countries, even though those countries obviously were steeped in religion for a long time. But I think they've had a lot more experience with religious wars over the years than Americans can remember too. I think European history leads Europeans to understand the danger that holds, and how much easier it is to get to Paris and London and blow up a subway train if you're an Islamic extremist. A lot of that's still not real to people here. If you live in Idaho and all you know is white people and they all have the same idea and the same agenda, your life is pretty insular, man, and you don't have. It's not real to you. It's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. It's not real to those people. They don't know any black people. If you knew some black families and you had some black friends, the pain that those people experience becomes real to you. But people who are isolated off in the country, these country fucking backwards ass hicks that we got in this country, they don't know any better. It's never been shown to them. And once they see it, I firmly believe that most of them have good hearts. They're deluded. They're gullible. They're miseducated. And they believe that the president wouldn't lie to them because that's kind of how we were all brought up. I was little. I remember, no matter what, the president is always the most respected person in America if you ask school kids, because you're taught to understand that the president has your best interest at heart. And I think people aren't that naive anymore. Educated people aren't. And the less educated people are in the country, the more apt they are to still fall victim to that. Thoughts on attacks against atheist TikTokers? You mean attacks by what? Comments or getting pulled off of TikTok? I'm not sure what that means. But it sucks. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I don't think I told you about this yet, and everyone should follow up on this. My understanding is atheist troll, who's on TikTok and YouTube. He actually found a Discord server. I don't know that much about Discord, where it's a bunch of Christians basically getting together to attack specific atheists on TikTok. So they basically coordinate it.
My thoughts are that what we're doing is working them because we threaten them, and I personally am not threatened by Christian commenters or Christian trolls. It's like having the monkeys laugh at you from inside their cage at the zoo because they don't get that they were the ones in the cage. All they see is the cage and the bars, and they laugh and they're like, "Hey, look at those people out there in the cage," and then they go back to throwing shit at each other. Yeah, the Christians who are doing that shit it's because they're really threatened. Their way of life, their creepy agenda, their morbid religion, all of it is dying. It's crapping out. It's going away. They know it. We know it. The pastors know it. The collection plate isn't as full as it used to be. The pews are empty, and not just because of COVID, but because people don't want that shit anymore. And there's a reason that the secular numbers are up and the religious numbers are down, and those people are freaked out by it. So, stand your ground, stay strong, and do what you got to do. to keep it going, because sooner or later we will prevail. And I got to believe that. Like I said, this is the last civil rights movement that we are fighting, and I hope that doesn't offend anybody, because we're not throwing off roofs in this country. We're not. Ginger, the faithless healer, you can shut up now. Come up. Come up. Come here. Come here. Where are you? Want to say hi? Come on. There she is. She made an appearance. She's awesome, little dog. I don't know what you want to do, but you're gonna have to wait. She might hear somebody outside, and then she goes freaky at the door. But yeah, please excuse my dog's barking. It's that's a Midwest accent. I get the bark. She barks in the park. Do I watch the NFL? Yeah, you know what? Football. I can't get that out of my blood. I'm an American, and I love football, and I love the violence. And I love seeing men, big old men, smashing into each other. And yeah, I watch the NFL. But I'm disgusted by the kneeling thing. That's so stupid. Since when is kneeling respectful? Right? Don't you kneel when you pray? But kneeling somehow in that context is like disrespectful and ugly. You know, the people who are against that are just so dumb. I don't get that at all. That needs to end, and Colin Kaepernick needs a job. And my favorite team. More haters can come at me, but I'm a Patriots guy. I'm from New England, and I was there when the Patriots sucked so bad that no one didn't even want to watch them. I mean, that's how old I am. But we got ours, didn't we? Yeah. Matter to me if they never win again, because we got ours, our Patriots. Go Bill. And it was sad how they had Jim Kelly all those years, and it ended up never winning those 4 Super Bowls. I got a soft spot for the Bills, but the Jets can fuck off, and the Dolphins too. Giants, yes, fuck the Giants, man. Jagoffs. Bitter about the Giants. 2 Super Bowls, in robberies. That was some lucky ass shit. That'll make you believe in a God that fucking pass. There was his face caught then, but Eli Manning gone with the wind, and Tom Brady still throwing passes and winning Super Bowls. And all the Manning boys are just done with football. But yeah, what else do we want to talk about? I'm amazed at the Catholics who quote Catholic tradition as though it were in the Bible. This whole Peter being crucified upside down in Rome thing. Someone came at us hard with that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. I guess it's debatable whether Peter was actually crucified in Rome. I think some historians think that was true, and maybe it was. I'm not trying to be an authority there, but this guy was like, why would Peter be willing to be crucified upside down for Jesus if it wasn't true that Jesus was crucified? It had to be true, because Peter, he denied him 3 times. 3 times he denied him, and then he felt so bad. When he died, he couldn't be crucified right side up. Why would the Romans ever grant wishes to someone they were going to crucify? Oh yeah, sorry man, we'll do it your way because you're making the rules here, fuckstick. No, but people act like that's get God given. The whole Fatima thing, and the worship of Mary and the Rosary. Where's the Rosary in the Bible? It's just a thing. It's just a thing that the Catholics made up. It doesn't have anything to do with actual biblical doctrine or teaching. So yeah, I wish those people would get off of that. The football gods wanted Manning to win those games. Yep, he did, and he won them. And meanwhile, the Patriots were having a 20-year winning streak of epic and biblical proportions. So the Giants were the team, because I was in Connecticut, and when the Patriots sucked back in the old days, right after the AFL merged, if you were in Connecticut, you were embarrassed to be a Patriots fan. So a lot of my friends were Giants fans growing up. I'll say that. Why are we talking about the NFL? It's baseball season, my friends. Red Sox. Yeah, maybe Brady might go to Florida. And why not, man? He ended up winning his first year. How long can he keep doing that? How to explain to indoctrinated youth that the Bible is not proven by science? I guess teach them real science, I don't know. That's like such a youth pastor thing, that bit.
I've noticed because my channel tends to be more younger people because of the
Go
animation.
ahead.
I've noticed that being a huge issue where they literally think, like, I assume they're either homeschooled or go to a Christian school because like they are convinced that science proves God and everything in the Bible. And
Yeah,
don't understand that, and so
yeah.
it's really concerning that that's really their, that's where they're starting. That's their foundation.
Yeah, homeschooling is a big problem. And I think if you're going to homeschool your kids, then you need to be held to the standards of a good school, which we know most public schools aren't anymore anyway. But yeah, like I say, education, proper education, will kind of head that off, so that people can, understand that the Bible is not proven by science, and any science that's in the Bible, of things that the Bible supposedly predicted and knew before. So, no, no, no. If they wrote it, if the Greeks wrote it, in the Septuagint, when the first Bible that was actually fully formed, as the commenter rightly explained, didn't come to us until maybe the third or fourth century, and we just didn't have one like that. And people knew a lot more than you give them credit for. Embryology, someone was talking about in the Quran. The Quran explains stages of embryonic development, supposedly before science. No, no. And Captain Dadpool, our awesome, did a video debunking all that shit. So I'm Latino. When I try to tell my family that Christians is enforced, yeah, and somebody explained to me that's, I mean, it's like Stockholm syndrome. It's a real thing where you're a whole society is kind of psychologically motivated somehow to please the master, and it's hard to break that. But I always do. I always wonder why Latin America is Christian. Why would you accept the religion of the conquistadors? And I wish all those countries could go back to their, if they're going to be religious, go back to their native religion. Man, they're so much more beautiful. The native fables and the native tales and the native mythology of every country is so much more interesting and so much more beautiful and just as valid as ridiculous Christianity, and nowhere near as morbid in most cases. Much more sexy. Um, the biggest hindrance for American politics becoming secular, it's just the way that the politicians here are mostly secular. I firmly believe that. Anybody who's educated to the level that most of those people are, they're mostly lawyers. They've had college and post-college educations, except for Margie Taylor Greene and her freak-ass QAnon friends. Most people in Congress are fairly secular, and they pander to the Christians because they don't historically think that they can win without it. And maybe that was true historically. I think that they'll find that they don't need to if they just try. If they just run on the goddamn platform, run on your issues, run on facts, and run on what you want to do to help the country become better. And don't worry about the goddamn Christians. They're going to sort themselves out sooner or later. They need to get back to filling pews down the fucking megachurch, man, to keep old boy in his Ferrari. Good evening to the Matt in the Hat. Love that name. We are. Thanks. We're having a pretty good evening here. It's Wednesday, and we're doing it every Wednesday now, so that we have a schedule. Sunday morning brunch and atheist brunch at 10:30 Central Time on Sunday. So join us there. Excuse me. And Wednesday evenings at 8 Central. We're going to try to make that a regular schedule, so hopefully people can get used to it. And we appreciate it, man. We appreciate the people who show up so much, and I really appreciate the people who argue for us against both the trolls and just the snarky comments that we get. Because we're not trying to change minds. If you're made up in your mind and you're going to be a Christian, you're going to be a Christian. Just move along. We're here to create a safe space for atheists. We're here to answer questions if we can, and help people understand that you don't need religion or God to be a good, moral, decent person. And this life is all we have, and so let's spend it trying to do better by people, trying to improve the world, and try to make this the country that the founders envisioned when they envisioned it and when they put it together, based on anything but Christian values, based on post-Enlightenment ideals of separation of church and state, and the writings of Cicero, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. Do I think Jesus was a historical person? I don't know. I'm on the fence about that, like a lot of people. It's again, my buddy Captain Deadpool says it's 50-50 for him, and he studied theology. He's got like a master's in in the seminary arts, or whatever the fuck they teach you in seminary. But he was than most people from the period, even though none of it happened during his life, supposedly. And that's odd. That's shaky when no one talked about him at all. It wasn't surprising that he didn't write anything down because he was probably illiterate, and probably a wandering ascetic and a cult leader of some kind. But I'm not quite there either. It is modern secular scholars who don't have a pony in the fight.
I think Rob just dropped off. Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Hello? Hello? Testing 1 2. Can you hear me? Strange. Can you hear me? Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. I'm gonna message him quick and let him know he should drop off and come back on.